Hello and welcome back to the Lee's Summit Town Hall Podcast. I am your host, Nick Parker. This is a good time to remind everyone that this podcast is brought to you by the fine folks at Budget Blinds of Lee's Summit. They're a great local family running a great local business. They are your home for signature series shades. They are also the place for our robot shade overlords. If you want to control your shades or parts of your house with your smart home, you can do it. You can do it right there. You can buy all the stuff you need, and then you can use your iPhone, your Apple Watch, your Alexa, your Google, whatever device you want. You can just tell it, hey, open those shades, and they'll open. It's pretty cool. So if you're ready to make your home a smart home, go see our friends at Budget Blinds, right in the heart of downtown. Tell them Nick sent you. My guest today, I'm going to call him one of the, he's now an OG downtown business owner. Justin Bliefnik. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You were, I think, like our third or fourth, somewhere around there, guest when this podcast started 10 years ago.
Yeah. When it was you and Jason.
Jason was still regularly co-hosting back then. You also were the first sponsor of Link to Lee Summit and the Town Hall podcast.
Yeah, I remember that.
So thank you, because 10 years later, I'm actually still here.
Right.
And sometimes I even give money to my wife in the household.
Perfect.
Every once in a while.
Way to stretch that money.
Yeah, it's actually that same check that you gave me 10 years ago. I'm still pulling from it.
Right.
Like about 20 cents at a time.
Sure. Yearly.
That's right. Justin, the owner of one of everybody's favorite bars in Lee Summit, Stewie's. And the reason you're here, the owner of our newest, I'm going to call it an attraction, our newest attraction downtown, the Dewdrop Inn, has returned. Your homage to the old amazing bar that was at the corner of 3rd and Market, now right next to Stewie's.
Right.
I'm excited. I don't know who's not excited that you brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be very clear up front. This is not the Dewdrop Inn. There will never be another Dewdrop Inn.
You can never recreate that.
Right. It's just a tribute to, Sue and everything that her and her family did.
This is like that Jack Black song.
Yeah, we say that so much. Yeah, we've got some shirts coming out that actually have that line on it.
You know what? I feel like I should have known Billy would do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Billy instantly was like, well, this is what we're doing. I was like, yep, that makes sense.
Do you think you could get Jack Black to play?
I bet we could get a John Brown to play. We could reach out. We'll see what he seems like a fun guy.
Yeah. I mean, I might bring some business.
Yeah.
So this is your homage.
Yeah.
To the Dewdrop. This is, we really, I think, probably other than say Sharky's or the VFW, we really don't have the dive bars down here anymore.
Right. And
we're a nice place now.
Yeah. Yeah. Stewie's is.
But as a man of a certain age, I crave the dive bar.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing was that was the goal. Like this all started with I wanted a 60s, 70s era bar, and kind of like an old town bar.
Right.
And then they put up all the new drywall, and I was like, you cannot open a dive bar. That's impossible. Everything's nice and new, and all the corners are right, and I was like, this is gonna take a while.
Well, and you don't have 50 years of tobacco tar and other colorings on those white walls.
Yeah, I've been buying old vintage beer signs and stuff like that, and most of them have been in good shape. And then a couple of them, it was this series. It's in the hallway there. It's a series of Budweiser scenes.
Yeah.
And when I got them all from this guy, I was like, man, it's so cool that they just did off-white and everything. And then I opened it up to change the bulb, and I was like, this used to be white. And there's tar, and it is what it is. It's a different era.
It's gross, but it's nostalgic.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's just funny.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day, the whole smoking thing in bars and stuff like that. Do you remember when Hardee's had a smoking section?
Yeah, and it was a half wall.
Right,
between.
It was a half wall with some ferns on top of it, and,
right.
and those little metal ashtrays, and it's kind of wild, how far we've come from all right, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, you'd go to the Pizza Hut, or actually, I grew up a little more cheaply with my frugal mother. We went to Pizza Inn.
Sure.
But there'd be a half wall down the middle of the restaurant.
Yep.
And my folks would insist on the non-smoking,
mm-hmm.
but we'd sit right up against that wall.
Right.
And so just,
18 inches.
18 inches away was the smoking section.
And the
with
whole time.
Nothing between, no barrier.
Right. And you're just thinking, thank God I'm not in the smoking section.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weird. Well, so this is right next door to Stewie's. It was formerly a chiropractor's office. Did you know when you purchased that building, the attached building, did you know this is what you wanted it to be, or
no?
Because you sat on it for a little while.
Yeah. No, we knew we wanted the property, and the initial plan was, have a space that's rentable for people that want to do birthday party. It was going to be an extension of Stewie's. We wanted some more room and some more bathrooms. So kind of the layout of what's there was about what it was going to be, but we just crossed a bunch of code thresholds with the city that required a lot of infrastructure that made it kind of financially irresponsible to just do all that. And so once I kind of got that stop sign, we just kind of sat on it for a little bit, and I was like, what are we going to do? And then, I've got friends from a lot of small towns, and there's always that one bar in every small town that's been there for 30 years or whatever it is, and it's crusty, but it's cool. And I was like, with the Dewdrop leaving, that's kind of something that I miss about down here, because I love that everything's developing and all this new stuff's coming in, but an old downtown bar is the meeting place in the heart of a downtown. And when Sue left, and I'm kind of nostalgic about this stuff, but it kind of left a big hole that I was like, man, I want an old looking place, because I can't open an old place. And so once we kind of started circling around on that style of bar, we were kicking around names and stuff like that, and it kind of, I think I was talking to Shane about it, and he's like, why don't you call it the Dewdrop? I was like, you can't do that. And
of course, if you say can't to Shane,
right,
the owner of the W and Hand and Glove, right? I mean, saying no to him is just asking him to do it,
right? And so he told me that he got some stuff from Sue. I don't remember if it's the naming rights or what it was, but he's like, I've got all that paperwork, so legally there's no issue with it. And I was like, well, I'm not worried about the legal part of it. I'm just, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. So I text Sue, and I'm like, hey, Sue, we just bought the building next to Stewie's. We're thinking about opening kind of an old 60s, 70s era bar, and I would like to call it the Dewdrop Inn, but I just, wanted to okay that with you before I did it. And she texts me back. She's like, oh, that's amazing. And she's just and we're texting back and forth. And after I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes of texting and just kind of reminiscing, and she's glowing via text over it. She goes, who is this? And I was like, Sue, it's Justin at Stewie's. And she's like, oh, that's even better, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, sorry, I got a new phone and all my numbers came over. I was like, man, I thought we were vibing here.
And she doesn't know who you are.
Yeah. But, we got down here in 2010 with Stewie's, and there's so many pub crawls and things, and all the bar owners are on the text chain. So we've all worked with each other for so long that I didn't feel weird about asking Sue about this, but it was just I wanted her blessing before we went through with it. So she's been nothing but awesome. She's sending me pictures of stuff and all this jazz, and just listening to some of her stories. And then there's some other old bar owners that aren't down here anymore that tell me stories about Sue.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. She's an awesome lady.
Well, and that was, I think, you're talking nostalgia and the old bar where people met. I mean, that was when I got here in 98 or 99 at the old Lee Summit Journal. Mm-hmm. That was the spot where all the old guard, the community leaders, where they met up and they had their meetings and made decisions. Right. I mean, if you think those decisions were made in real meetings, you're wrong. Well, they were all huddled over the bar, and, and then when they'd get rowdy and Sue would ask them to leave, they'd come back to the Journal office. Oh. And so that was my initiation to Lee Summit was all of them coming back to the office after being asked to leave.
Right. They didn't get kicked out.
No, they were just told it was time.
Right.
Feral Shuck and all of those. But that was the place.
Mm-hmm. Well, and back then there wasn't a lot of places.
No.
Struthers was down here where
Dan Danielson had that.
That is now.
Yeah.
Yep. And there was the fried chicken place, and I think my place was.
What was his chicken place called?
I don't remember.
That wasn't Main Street Bistro, was it? I don't. We
I don't
sound
think so.
old, losing our minds, but yeah, there was not a lot
Right.
down here at the time.
Right. Of anything back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, because the turnaround really was about 2007, 2005, 2007 when they started the streetscapes and redoing things and built the city hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, you'd come down here to get your letter jacket,
where Local Foundry is now.
Yep. Summit Sports. And, it was funny too, because I remember some of these buildings just had like junk stacked in the windows because people were buying them for storage or whatever it was. And so like I moved here when I was 10, so that was 91. And so like watching this all develop has been super cool, especially 07. I was working at Beecham's whenever all the streets got tore out. I think we opened the week that all the streets got tore out. We're like, well, this front door is kind of weird.
That's awesome. Well, you've done a couple soft opens. You were open at the Dewdrop for the pub crawl that just happened. Everything went smooth.
Yeah, I mean,
except for I saw there was a toilet issue one night.
We've had a couple sewer issues that were resolved without major construction interference, but that's to be expected. You don't really know how a project's going to react to people actually being in it. You get the construction done, you're like, this is sweet, and then people start using it, and you're like, oh, we got to fix this, and this isn't working right, and you don't until you get that shakedown. You don't really know where your weak points are. Right.
Well, or have the crowd that comes with a pub crawl, and when you're just
just break it in.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the bar itself and how you set it up. It's like you hinted at this earlier. It's old vintage signage. It's pretty basic on the inside. Your tables and stools all look kind of that, and we're gonna get to this, all with the exception of your bathrooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, talk about that kind of the look and the aesthetic that you've been kind of curating.
Well, it's those vinyl back chairs that every bar back then had. Obviously they're newer versions of it, but those big comfy swivel chairs that make no sense as far as spacing and getting people at a bar go, but it's great for just sitting and hanging out. And then, the bar stools that are out at the tables are just soft, vinyl stools that are kind of that classic old bar stool look. But yeah, all the signage, I was trying to buy, like 89 was my cutoff. Like everything's got to be pre-89. For the most part it is. Some of the stuff you just find and it's cool and you got to do it. But the layout was just kind of how efficient can I make this for the least amount of employees? Right. That was kind of the whole goal, because we didn't know what it was going to do, so I couldn't, pack it with people as far as staff goes. And, it's nerve-wracking when you open these things because statistically they don't work. And then you're just like, well, here we go.
You did this without really making any major announcements, though. I feel like it's kind of just you turn on the light.
Yep.
And people started coming in.
Yep. Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing.
You say that you've been running now for what, almost 15 years, or almost 20 years.
No, not 20. 2010, so 16. Yeah, we'll be 16 in June.
Yeah.
And
by the way, that's nearing 20.
That's true. We can round up.
But I mean, you've been running a very good, very popular bar. Mm-hmm. Did you just feel like we just need to turn the lights on and open this up?
Well, the reason we don't do a lot of fanfare is because I've been through enough businesses, like working for other people and stuff. When you start constructing these things, you think you know when it's going to be ready, but you don't. Things pop up, people get delayed, everything happens, and that question of when do you think you're going to open? It's like,
I might have sent some of those texts.
Well, no. It's fine. Like, I'm not mad at it, but I just always told people we'll open in the future. Like if you say a date, you might not hit it. you don't look like you know what you're doing. Which like I said, I probably don't on most parts, but I get a lot of credit for like Stewie's doing well, but I'm pretty hands off as far as, day-to-day operations and stuff like that. We've got a staff over there that we kind of give the autonomy to just kind of be their own little entrepreneur within their space. So, I always tell our servers and our bartenders and stuff, like, you're not tipped employees, you're commissioned salespeople. And, we just do things to where they can make some decisions on their own. Because if you make that business about you, like if you're the face and you're the reason people come, you're going to have to be there all the time. And this business is not conducive to long-term, long hours with a family, all that stuff.
No, you want your kids to pretend they like you.
Right. And I don't know if the bar is the difference there, but but yeah. Yeah. Well, you say that you and I talked off air a little bit about this too. That the other thing you don't know is you don't really know what the vibe's going to be. You know what you're aiming for, but when people come in the door, that's kind of when you realize what kind of place it's going to be. Yeah, I think this business gets stuck for a lot of people because people are like, this is what it is. And then if your customer base doesn't agree with it or doesn't vibe with it, you're stuck. And so, like, we kind of get a baseline going and then kind of build around both the employees and the customers and say, all right, this is the demographic that's coming in and this is the style of employee that we have. So, what do we do? And we just kind of mold it around that. Like, it's just, I've had too many good ideas be terrible. And so I don't marry any of my ideas. I'm like, we're going to try this. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, we're going to punt it and move on.
A weekend. Do you feel like it's close to what you had envisioned?
Yeah. I mean, it's been for not really advertising or anything. The numbers have been good.
I'll give you the rate sheet after this.
Okay. Okay. But the numbers are good. People seem happy. I was really nervous about like the old school dewdrop people. Like, this isn't the dewdrop, blah, 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 blah. But I think once they get the idea that this is a tribute to that, because a business that's been open for 58 years, especially that business, shouldn't just be forgotten about because it's not here anymore, Right. So the idea is, like, when you first walk in there, we're going to have a lot of old photos of the dewdrop and some of their old customers and stuff like that. And the front is just kind of like, museum's the only word I can think of to describe it, but just kind of a like an homage to Sue and her family and what they've done over the years.
I love the 3 bar stools just sitting there empty at the front of the door.
Yeah, Ben found those.
Ben Wine?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's at a thrift store. He took a picture and sent it to me. He's like, you want these? I was like, yeah. How much are those? And he was like, they're $40. And then he gets to checkout. He's like, oh, they're half off. It's $20. I was like, load them up, man. Bring them.
There's just a look to it.
Yeah.
You see them sitting by themselves by the front door. There's the look. And really, I love that and I know you haven't put up all the art yet.
Right.
But that hallway as you enter from the front door into the bar, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's this cool entrance.
Right.
And it feels, the way it's lit, it feels like you're walking into the old bar.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like that. I have this weird memory of when I was a kid and I went into a place with my father and I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to be in there or whatever. You know how
Right.
you get that hit that in your kid's brain, right? Right. But that's what it feels like. It's like I'm going into this old place.
Yeah. That was kind of the goal with it was, and like I said, with the old versus the new stuff, like to people that know what I'm talking about, it's kind of like a Restomod car. Like, it's an old, Chevelle body sitting on all new running gear because the plumbing's all new, the electrical's all new, all this stuff in there that the infrastructure of it's all new, but I'm trying my hardest to kind of make it feel like a little bit of a time capsule of that era.
Well, since you said some of it's new, let's talk about the decision on the bathroom, because it's all vintage. It's meant to look a little dingy. Uh-huh. It's meant to look 40 years old. And then you've got these bougie, and I mean bougie bathrooms.
Yeah. I thought it'd be hilarious.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah, because like dive bars are notorious for having
scary bathrooms.
And what I thought about, we'd been down in Branson for something. And you remember Shoji Tabuchi?
Uh-huh.
he had like pool halls in his bathrooms and stuff. Like people went there for the bathrooms.
Right.
Obviously, different deal. But I was like, I want the bathrooms to be nice because they're small enough I could afford to make them nice.
Right.
And so I went to the tile shop, and the lady's like, "What are you going for?" And I was like, I'm looking for what Elvis saw when he died. And she goes, I have that tile, and it's right over here. And they're huge, 4 foot by 4 foot
slabs.
tiles. Yeah. But they're actually printed tiles. Like it's not a real stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it looks bougie. But it is like a really nice print on a Kmart t-shirt, So it worked out, and we put the lights in the mirrors for, the ladies to make sure they're doing their thing with the makeup and all
you have
that.
to always be Instagram ready for your photos.
Oh yeah. But that was kind of the whole thing, was like one vibe out here and then gaudy like tile vibe on the inside.
Well, and I love that you do have some of the old signage, some of the old things, decor from the Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. You've got the Schlitz lady.
Miss Schlitz.
Miss Schlitz there, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we've got some of the old Schlitz ads, the Schlitz lady. Sue didn't keep a lot of stuff.
No, she gave a bunch away.
Yeah. So there was a few other signs. There's some small stuff. Do you remember the tokens she used to give out? Andy brought me up one of those, and I sent it to Sue. I was like, one of my bartenders sent me this. She goes, "Ooh, the red ones. Those were for nice drinks." I was like, well, that's cool. So I got it in a case now. We're going to put a shelf in with all like the little knick-knack stuff. All that
that's
jazz.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I think everybody that's been in so far has been happy. It seems like the response has been really, really good.
Yeah. We haven't had any issues. We haven't had any complaints. We don't have food in there yet. We will.
You said you're going to share the kitchen with Stewie's?
Yeah, and the menu at Dewdrop is going to be Dewdrop's menu. Stewie's is going to be Stewie's. And the idea is, with the kitchen being right next door, it's not going to be a restaurant at all. It's just, if you need something to eat, we can get you something to eat. So it's,
but you don't want me bringing the family for dinner at the Dewdrop.
It's not that. Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, it's not set up for that at all. But the like everything's going to come out disposable. It's going to be down and dirty. It's like hot dogs, chopped cheeses, chopped Italians. We've got some funny
that kind of
appetizer
excites
stuff.
me a little bit.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chopped cheese sandwich around here forever.
Right. And it's just quick. That's the whole thing. Like, it's quicker than a cheeseburger. And I didn't want to bog down Stewie's kitchen with this stuff. So everything's like 3, 4, 5 minute out the door stuff.
And you just hire somebody to walk it back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, we've already got all that staff over there, so they've just got to run it out the side door, through the back door, and you're eating.
That's awesome. Will there be patio seating outside? I know you have that back door. Is there a plan for that?
Yeah.
But that eats into parking spaces too.
Eventually. Well, it only eats into one. So that was kind of like a surprise cost when we were doing all this stuff, because Dave and Bob were like, hey, we're going to redo our parking lot because we've got this asphalt that's got holes and all that stuff in it. We need better drainage. And I was like, well, okay, I guess we'll do that. And it was fine. Like, I understood we needed to get it done, but it was just a cost that we weren't expecting.
Right.
And so when the guy came out, I was like, how much is it to put a pad here? Because down the road, this will be a patio, but I can't really afford to make it a patio because the budget's getting blown up.
Right.
But so we just had it all done, and eventually we'll get to putting a patio on it.
So you sacrificed the patio for the Kmart tile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one are you going to come see?
Well, look, listen, I'm going for the Kmart tile.
Sure.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's a nice little change of pace.
Yeah.
While you're sitting there, I loved sitting in there though. I think the first time we went in,
bathroom?
No, the bar.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bathroom. Why not?
Right.
But we were in the bar. My wife and I were both like, yeah, we can come sit here for a while.
Yeah.
This is a place to come hang out and just have some drinks with friends and not be crazy. I'm getting older. I don't need the crazy bar experiences anymore.
No, and I always tell people,
I want to sit with my friends.
Right. Like, Stewie's is what I could afford to open when I was 28.
Yeah.
And Dewdrop is the bar I'd like to go to now that I'm 44. Just calm it down, Don't need the music to be super loud. We are probably gonna have to do some stuff about the acoustics in there because everything's hard surface. But it's kind of this like just like what you're saying. Like I just wanted a chill place to have super cold beer and enjoy time with your friends. That isn't a college hangout or a rowdy bar.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I love Stewie's.
Yeah.
But you got to be ready for that on a Friday night, after work.
Right.
You got to be ready for the Stewie's crowd.
Right. Right. And they're a great crowd.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's just, it gets loud in there quick.
I'm not 28 anymore.
Sure, I understand.
You were 28 when you opened that?
Uh-huh.
Wow. How does that, I mean, think about that for a second.
Well, at the time, I was like, I'm old. I missed I was really shooting for 24. But, the way Stewie's came to be was I was looking for a cooler on Craigslist for another place I was working. And it said Lee Summit Bar for sale. And it was basically an asset purchase. It was Barada at the time. And I was talking to Emily because she was on the same page I was. Like, we were both wanting to do this. And I was like, this is not great. But it's the only thing we can maybe afford if we want to get into this, and then hopefully we can evolve it into something.
Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, like I thought we'd be significant for like 5, 6, 7 years, and then we'd have to figure something else out. But the community and all of our customers have been great about just coming back, and we get new customers all the time, and people get older and they head out, and it's just like this naturally revolving door.
I think what you've done is you've found that right balance of bar and restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I think that's hard to do, right? I think people can be one or the other very well and a little bit easier, but to be both is, I think, a tougher balancing act.
Well, here's my secret to this business. You don't open a restaurant with a bar, you open a bar with food. And then nobody expects too much out of you. Like, if you go all in on a giant build out and everything's elegant, your food better be above that.
Right.
And so I don't think people expect much out of us when they walk into Stewie's because, it's still got a popcorn ceiling in it. The floors are what we could afford to do at the time. They're a little dingy. And so they're like, all right, well.
That's part of the ambiance.
Yeah. And so, I've got friends that have tried to get into this business and stuff, and I'm like, that's the thing. You open a bar that has food, and then you go from there and figure out how. And our food, it's good. I'm not saying that it's not good, but it's not. We season things and we put sauces on things that aren't bland. Like that's kind of the big thing.
And there is. I didn't turn my ringer off, Justin. I'm horrible.
That's okay. I thought we were done.
I don't know what I just did. I broke my own rules, and now that threw me off. But I think there is a place, like, I think sometimes people forget bar food's good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sometimes you want bar food. I'm going to throw out another bar every once in a while, and this was before we moved downtown, and we lived on the east side. Mm-hmm. The closest for us, the good dive bar, was that west side.
Oh, yeah.
Over by where the bowling alley used to be. Hillcrest is there now.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I just want their burger or their just totally plain nachos.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
just old school.
I want to go sit and watch a ball game.
Yep.
And just have a simple bar food.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
Give me a cold beer, simple bar food, and let me sit and watch a game. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what our that's kind of our formula. It's just this doesn't like so market research when I'm doing food and stuff is I'll go to Applebee's, I'll go to like TGI Fridays, all those chains
that are gone.
Well,
you just mentioned two that are gone.
but what I do is I go through their menu and they spend millions of dollars on market research and all this other stuff. And so the jalapeno cream cheeseburger that we've got at Stewie's the idea was from Applebee's. But when I had it at Applebee's, I was like, this is bland. And because, they figure out this great idea and then they've got to water it down for the masses. And so I was like, if we just actually made this taste like it's what it's supposed to taste like, this is going to be amazing. Now you better know what you're getting into when you order it. But, the honey chipotle chicken tacos was a Chili's thing.
Right.
So it's just like take the things that people, researched and figure out this is what people want and then just do it well with plenty of seasoning and plenty of sauce, and then you're good to go.
Yeah. I think the greatest invention of Stewie's
Bacon and cheese wings.
Well, okay, you're right. You know what? You know what? I stand corrected. I was going to say those are, and that has been a standard order for many years in our house. The nachos, soup style.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Where you can just dip all the top. I think that was a COVID invention for you when you were doing everything to go.
Yeah, because
but it was genius.
Well, thank you. It was out of necessity purely. I did not think of that. I was just like, this has got to be different, because people would call and be like, hey, my nachos are soggy. I'm like, well, we made nachos, and then 10 minutes later you picked them up, and then you drove home, and
right.
It's just kind of thing. Like when people order wings to go from us, I'm always like, get them sauce on the side, because if they're just soaking in sauce and it's 15 or 20 minutes before you're going to get to them, it's kind of a soggy wing.
Right.
That's not great. But yeah, that was definitely a COVID invention, because it just traveled better.
I still make the order that way sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an option on the menu now.
Yeah,
people love that. And the other part too was like we were making these mounds of nachos, and so your bottom chips are all dry, and people would be like, you're not very good at nachos. and it's like there's a lot of stuff on there. You just really enjoyed the icing on the cake instead of the bottom. But,
right.
but it's kind of mitigated that too, and then it's also like really easy to share with everybody at the table, and yeah.
I want to throw something out to you. This is an idea that a few of us are working on.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you think of this. Mac and Cheese Fest.
Like a festival?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some people like you involved, and we find out who's got the best mac and cheese.
Okay. I mean, ours is craft. And it's on the kids menu. No, I'm just kidding. We've got some pastas that we do. I don't think we've got a mac and cheese anymore, though.
Didn't you have a mac and cheese burger?
We did for a while. We rotate through chefs and kitchen guys, and you gotta kind of play to their strengths.
Yeah.
And we had a really chefy chef for a while that was doing some chefy chef things, and now I've got really good production cooks that we've never had a happier kitchen, but they're not necessarily excited about like the Scotch egg,
right,
and stuff like that. So
which was one of the best, like. All of a sudden, I'm having drinks with a friend, and a Scotch egg appears at the bar. That was amazing.
Right. I'd never heard of him before he did that. And I was like, whoa. At first, he tells me about it. I'm like, okay. Well, okay, buddy. And then I tried it. I was like, oh, okay. We're definitely going to do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the Do Drop In, right next door to Stewie's. Mm-hmm. What are your hours? When's it open?
Right now, we're just Friday, Saturday, 4 to close, which is 1:30. When we put food in it, we'll definitely include Thursday, possibly Wednesday. I've thought about doing lunch out of it because it's small enough to actually do lunch out of it. And I think with the menu items, we can make it affordable to do lunch out of it for people to eat.
I would love a chopped sandwich for lunch downtown.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a play it by ear right now as far as the hours. And
so right now, Friday, Saturday, 4 to close.
Yep.
That's the place to be.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Justin, thanks so much. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And congrats. We'll have some photos on the Link to the Summit website when this publishes. So if you want to go see some pics of what it looks like, in case you're not cool enough to get in.
Oh, you can get in. You can definitely get in. And just FYI, it's a work in progress. There's a lot of bare walls in there that we're looking for stuff.
When is a bar not a work in progress though? Like you just said, you're always kind of.
Yeah, but this is like a fun work in progress. This is not the plumbing needs attention or stuff like that. This is more giving it a little bit of soul.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
That'll wrap us up for this episode. We'll talk to everybody next time.